Right, go.
My name is Clerkin from the Scottish Resistance. Next week we're going to mount a rally outside Tunnocks in Uddingston to protest against the fact that this company has removed the line rampant from its products and is going for a totally British dimension, thereby eliminating decades of Scottish identity, and we think that's absolutely disgraceful that they've done that. This is a company that put masses of money into the Better Together campaign to stop independence from happening. This is the same company through Boyd Tunnock who was pictured with Ruth Davidson and Annabel Goldie supporting United Kingdom PLC. Tunnocks is a company that basically represents the worst aspects of UK PLC. Essentially they want cheap labour, and essentially they want to avoid paying tax as much as possible, and we will be there to say that they should be paying higher wages to their workers, because we support the workers at Tunnocks, but what we oppose is Boyd Tunnock and his Tory pals who essentially are out to financially rape the poor and to rob the people of this land. And we will be there next week to protest against Tunnocks, and we are saying to them they've got to keep the line rampant on their products, and we're also saying that they are typical of rich elite in this country that have a total asset value of £5 trillion. The rich top 10% have an asset value of £5 trillion, and Boyd Tunnock is one of those people. And essentially they want to keep the poor poor, and essentially to keep the union going as long as it financially rapes the poor and financially robs people. They're nothing more than modern day robber barons, the people that actually run Tunnocks, and that's what they are. And we will be there next week to make them pay for what they've done, and we will show them that they should never have removed the Scottish line rampant from their product. And I also want to say very clearly that in this year, where there's going to be elections to the Scottish Parliament, I personally will be revealing tonight that I will be voting number 1 SNP and number 2 SNP, so on the list and first past the post, I'll be voting for the Scottish National Party, and I would urge as many people as possible to vote for the SNP. All the other parties, the smaller political parties like the Greens, for example, are not fully behind independence. Rise are not fully behind independence, and the reason I say that is because the Green Party ran a Vote No campaign during the referendum. Some of the Greens actually went in for a Vote No campaign, and also Rise are a political party which its first letter is R for respect, and yet they removed the Scottish Resistance from speaking at the All Under One banner event to support Scottish independence, because they viewed us as being too nationalistic. How can you be too nationalistic to support Scottish independence? So my message to Jonathan Shaffey and to others like Cat Boyd is that you're not really for independence, you're just really out to have a Scottish Labour Party Mark II that's not for independence. So I say to everybody out there, don't be fooled by Rise or by the Scottish Greens. Vote for the SNP. Make sure we get the SNP over the line with as many MSPs as possible, because that is the only way we're going to get independence. And the other thing I would say to Nicola Sturgeon, who is the leader and First Minister of Scotland, is that she should not be putting up barriers to independence, like say that we have to have 60% support in the opinion polls before we go to a second referendum. I'm saying clearly to her, and to as many people out there as possible who are listening to this, is that we should be out on the streets and in the communities, in the villages and in the towns and in the cities, out campaigning now for a second referendum to happen in 2017. Once we're over that line in May, that will be a double mandate for independence, having got 56 out of 59 MPs in May of this year, May of last year. And this year in May we'll get a double mandate with the SNP getting overwhelmingly elected to the Scottish Parliament, a double mandate for independence. Never forget, before 2000 the SNP always said that if they got a majority of votes cast, that was enough. Well, on this occasion it'll be a double mandate. The majority of votes cast should now be a double mandate for a referendum for Scottish independence in 2017, and that's the route we've got to go down. We must go down the route of having a first-class Scotland with first-class public services and first-class income for all our citizens, so that nobody has to go to food bank, so that nobody has to think that they're not going to have an income to live on, that they don't have to think about suicide, having their benefits cut by companies like Atos and Maximus, that we have a socialist Scotland, a workers' republic. That's what I want in the end, a socialist workers' republic. We get rid of the monarchy further down the line, and we have a socialist Scotland where we have a workers' republic where people can live in dignity, where people can live in freedom, where people can live in equality, where people are absolutely free, and we have true liberation. And that's the kind of Scotland I want to see in the future, and that's the kind of Scotland I want us all to support. So get out onto the streets and campaign for an SNP vote, but also make sure that you mention to your SNP candidates and MSPs that they're not going to get away with sitting in the Parliament. They have to demand a second referendum, and we get a second referendum in 2017. And as for Tunnocks, we'll let us go down there next week, and we will be there next week outside Uddingston, outside their factory, saying to Tunnocks, put the line rampant back on your Scottish products, because it's the Scottish products that have made you, and the fact is that you're selling these Scottish products down south and it was not affecting your sales at all. I think you've deliberately done this to stir up the hornet's nest. Well, you're going to reap a whirlwind. We're going to make sure that the line rampant goes back on those Scottish products, and I can tell you that here and now. Sean Clerkin from the Scottish Resistance. Thank you very much.